Hey everyone, it's Shelly with Pastry Shells, and today I'm going to show you how to make these really pretty floral plaques. So first I'm going to start out with my plaque cookie. This is from Kaleidacuts. It's one of my favorite plaques. It's called the Nancy plaque. And I'm going to use my flood consistency icing, which I like to keep at about 20-second consistency, which means it settles down in 20 seconds. And I actually outline and flood my cookie in the same consistency. So once I outline the cookie, I am going to continue by flooding in the entire cookie. Now I'm going to use my scribe tool just to smooth out the icing, get it all the way to the edges, and to make it so there's not any spaces missing icing, and to get out any bubbles that might have formed while squeezing the icing out. And then after about 20 seconds, all the icing will settle down flat. If it doesn't settle down for you easily, you can lightly tap the cookie on the surface to get it to smooth out as well. I let the cookie completely dry, either for about 5 to 6 hours, or if it's under a fan or a heater, it might take a little less time. But once it's completely dry is when I can move on to the next step. Once the cookie's completely dry, I use my food doodler, which I get from Wonderfully Delicious. And this is a black one, and I just put dots all over the cookie. I always start in the center, so I make sure the pattern is centered within the cookie. And then I just try and eyeball the spacing of my dots, and I go all over the cookie with the dots. Now I'm going to add the lettering. Here I do not use a tip, I use my bag only, and I use a stiff consistency frosting. I even add in extra powdered sugar to keep it from spreading at all, and I'm going to put more pressure on the downward stroke so that it is a thicker line and it creates a prettier calligraphy effect. Now, once again, using stiff consistency frosting and just my bag, I'm not using the tip again, I'm going to start creating the leaf pattern. For here, I put a lot of pressure at the beginning and make a ball and then slide that ball out, and then I create a leaf, and then I just continue with that pattern by pushing at the end and letting go of my pressure and sliding my tip to create the end of the leaf. And I'll do this a few places over the cookie. In the middle of where these meet is where I'll be putting flowers. So I kind of picture where I'm going to want to put the flowers, and then I put the leaves behind where I'm going to put the flowers. Alright, right here I'm going to use tip 14, Wilton tip 14. I had already piped some flowers and forgot to film it, so I took them off so I could film them for you. But here I'm just going to add pressure, 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 pressure as I turn it, and towards the end I'm going to lift off of pressure and continue to turn so that it has a clean finish. So pressure, pressure, lift off of pressure here and let it go. And if there's any tips like this that stick out, I will use my scribe tool just to help it lay down flat so there's not a pointy part sticking out of the flower. As a reminder, this is also done with stiff consistency icing. So once you're done piping all of the rosettes, you've got a beautiful floral pattern all over your cookie. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or to message me. And also you can check out my website for all the materials that I've used during this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to hear from you about how you have made these beautiful plaque cookies. Thank you and have a good day.